Hello everyone and welcome to our channel Holistic Facts. So today we are going to study about a personality, Sundar Lal Bahuguna. We actually know about him. We have studied him since 4th standard because he was the India's leading pioneering environmentalist, but the contributions that he has made are not restricted to environmental arena, but they go into social as well as human rights aspects. So, here we will try to cover important aspects of his life, but he has had a spectacular career, and any video is not sufficient to describe Sundarlal Bahuguna. Unfortunately, due to COVID 19 complications, he passed away recently, and he was 94 years old at the time. And in his life, he has done unprecedented contributions. Let us try to understand them. So, first of all, he was born in Uttarakhand in 1927, and along with his wife Vimla Behan, he dedicated his entire life to social reforms and environmental reforms. He was awarded Padma Vibhushan by the government of India, and he was a passionate defender of the Himalayan people and Himalayan ecology, the plight of hill people, and especially of working women. He also struggled to defend India's rivers, mainly the Ganga river system. So, the earliest contribution that we can remember, or the earliest participation that we can remember from the history, is the the freedom for Tehri Garhwal. So, Sundarlal Bahuguna was inspired by Mahatma Gandhi's call for strength of non-violence and fasting and satyagraha. Since he was a child, he was born at a time wherein the India's independence movement was at peak. And besides Gandhi, Bahuguna admired Sridev Suman, who fought for the complete independence of Tehri from the dynastic rule. So, at the time where he was born in Uttarakhand, so in Tehri, there was dynastic rule or monarchy. So, it was the princely state at the British Indian period. So, therein he participated to free the Tehri Garhwal district. And then at the age of 24, Bahuguna also joined Congress party. So finally, in 1949, the Tehri Garhwal district got freed. It got freedom, right? And then it was merged with Republic of India on August 1st, 1949. Then from herein we can see that from an early age only he entered the social reform arena, right? He began organizing social activities like anti-liquor drives, spreading message of non-violence. He adopted Gandhian principles and took note of damage done to the ecosystem of the Himalayas. Ecosystem was of Himalayas was the focus of his work. I mean, it won't be right to say anything was, just one thing was the focus, but it was an important part. He believed that women and nature are intrinsically connected and demonstrated they can lead change. His contribution is the most important one, wherein women were called for to participate and lead these particular movements, because he understood and he made other people understand that the environmental impacts or the social impacts are more on women, because they are the ones who are running the households. He pioneered many social movements with women crusaders or women leaders, and most noteworthy of them were movements against alcoholism and the anti Tehri Dam movement to save Himalayas and Ganga. He not only fought for the environment but also for human rights. He was instrumental in ensuring Dalits were able to enter temple in Uttarakhand's Tehri district. So herein you can understand anti-liquor movements, the social movement, or the Ganga Save movement, Save the Ganga movement, and also for the temple entry movement, he was pretty active. Then in 1960s, when alcoholism, again this point got repeated, but at the 1960s time, alcoholism was gripping the hill state of Uttarakhand, and therein he led anti-liquor movement. So this is a picture of Tehri Dam actually. We need to understand this, even though so much effort was put into protests against Tehri Dam, because he understood the ecological impact that this dam could have, right? First of all, many people were displaced because many villages were submerged, and at the same time we understand that hill states have a unique ecology. The Himalayan states have a unique and at the same time very vulnerable ecology, which is why it is very important that whenever we are taking up developmental project, we need to understand the ecological impacts, and that is why he did not want the dam to be built there. And With him, many villagers and many people did not want that, because there was a problem of, first of all, loss of livelihood. Then there were concerns about earthquake tolerance and siltation and everything, and those problems still are there, right? Although whenever some people are displaced because of some government developmental projects, there are always rehabilitation schemes, but we know how long those take, right? Currently, if we see, Tehri Dam is India's tallest dam, and it is on the river Bhagirathi, right? Sundarlal Bahuguna spent a very significant amount of his life protesting against this particular dam. He was also relocated away from his home in Dehradun because of these protests, and it took him years to go back to Dehradun. So that was about the Tehri Dam movement. Now we come to Chipko movement, which is the most famous movement associated with his name. The original Chipko movement was started around 260 years ago in the early part of 18th century in Rajasthan by Bishnoi community. Now this is a very important part of the information, right? The Bishnoi community had started it almost 260 years ago in Rajasthan, and the leader of this particular movement was Amrita Devi. This is a very, very important name. You need to learn this. And after this particular movement, the Maharaja of Jodhpur, he gave a strong royal decree preventing the cutting of trees in all Bishnoi villages. So this was a largely successful movement. After this, we come to 20th century, and herein also the same concept can be applied, right? Chipko means embracing or hugging the tree. So people or villagers would hug the tree so that nobody can come and cut or fell those trees, right? So this concept of non-violence was adopted by the protesters again, and herein Sundarlal Bahuguna was a pioneering leader, and he also gave the slogan that ecology is permanent economy. That is, if you conserve your ecology, you don't need to worry about the economy. So this is, you can understand that implicit here, the concept of sustainable development. Chipko in 20th century. It started in 1970s, and it was sparked off by the government's decision to allot a plot of forest area in the Alaknanda Valley to a sports goods company. And the same was denied to villagers, wherein they only wanted to use wood to make agricultural tools, which would have been much more sustainable, and their entire forest patch would not have been deforested, right? But this request was denied. So, with encouragement from the local NGOs, the women in the area, under the leadership of an activist, Chandi Prasad Bhatt, this is also another very important name. He was one of the earliest leaders in 20th century Chipko movement. He went into the forest and formed circle around trees, preventing the men from cutting them down. The same concept of embracing the trees, right? This particular movement, this particular incident garnered success, right? And after this, this way of protest spread into other parts of the country. Sundarlal Bahuguna was one of the most prominent leaders in spreading this particular message and popularizing this movement. He was a Gandhian activist and philosopher, and whose appeal to Mrs. Indira Gandhi, the erstwhile Prime Minister of India, resulted in green felling ban, so that trees in that particular areas would not be cut. Then we know this quote now, ecology is permanent economy. Then in the bid to spread the message and seek attention for ecological cause of Himalayas, Bahuguna scaled Himalayan states from Kashmir to Kohima on foot. So from Kashmir to all the way to northeast in Nagaland, he went on foot to popularize the particular cause of saving the Himalayas. Then what was the significance of this movement or the relevance of this movement? So for some people it was an extraordinary conservation movement, it was a new way of conserving. For others, or mostly for locals, this movement was to regain control of their natural resources, which were first snatched away by the colonial power, saying that no, this is now government property. And then again by free government of India, they did the same and said that this is government property and nobody can touch it, only government can do whatever they want to do. Although it's the people that live in Tehri, or it's the people that live in the Himalayas whom those forests should belong to, because they are living there since decades and using the environment, or rather sustaining the environment. Then for some it is the movement of women trying to save the environment with a message to loggers: our bodies before our trees. We'll lay our bodies before we'll let you lay down our trees. So that was the dedication. In fact, as a women's movement, it inspired ecofeminism in India and to some extent throughout the world. So this was a very pioneering movement in India's environmental movements, right? Herein ecofeminism was born, and after this many women participated, and the participation kept on increasing in environmental movements. And today also we understand, we study various articles wherein we study that water sources are getting polluted and how it affects women more than it affects anybody, right? I mean, it obviously it affects everybody, but it affects more to women. So there, this is where it started, the participation started to increase. So these were certain aspects of what movements were led, or what movements he participated in or popularized and was a guiding spirit of, right? And as I said, in his 94 years life, he has done so much for India's environment movement and for social causes and human rights causes. It's not easy to cover them in one video, but if you're preparing for the studies, this is enough for even your mains and your prelims examination, and also for general information. This is at least how much you should know. So this was today's video, and for more, please subscribe to our channel Holistic Facts. Thank you.